Hey folks, my name is Jim. I have a 2004 Toyota Land Cruiser, and today I'm going to replace a bumper cover. There's a number of places where you can purchase a new bumper. I purchased this off of eBay from Car Parts Wholesale. It came in the mail, primed and ready to go, and it was in excellent condition. Then I took it to Dewey's Auto Body. Dewey's is a facility not too far from my house. If you're in the Pittsburgh area, I recommend these guys. They did a great job and they're really easy to work with. That's it. All right, let's get started. Okay, here's the damage on the '04 Land Cruiser. I took a good dig out of the bumper. We're going to have to replace that. I have a new bumper that's been painted. We're going to take this off now. You can see that there are going to be some spots where, because of the damage to the bumper, it is broken away from the car. We're just going to have to take the rest of the bolts out, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Just forward of the front wheels, there's a 10mm bolt that attaches the bumper to the fender. Underneath the car, you'll see several places where 10mm bolts will attach the bumper to brackets. And then also you'll see where the plastic has broken through the bracket, and that'll have to be fixed. In order to get the bumper cover off, you first have to take off this front grille. As you can see, there's 3 screws that have to come out, and that's just with a Phillips head screwdriver. Once you get the screws out, there's 2 little clips here. You can see you just have to push this little tab towards the front of the car, and the cover will pop out. And then there's one on the other side as well that you have to remove. Once you do that, the grille just pops straight out. With the grille out, we can now remove the 3 body panel fasteners that holds the bumper up on top. And you can either use a body fastener tool, or I'd prefer just using a flat bladed screwdriver. There's a little notch that you can put the screwdriver into, and then you just twist and it pops up. Once you get them all popped up, you can pull them out. You can see it's pretty easy to do. Sometimes they'll break and you'll have to replace them, but in general they're pretty easy to get out of there.
What's broken?
The last thing to do is to remove the plugs from the fog lights. It's pretty easy. You just have to lift up on this little tab, and once you do that, you just pull it free, and you just have to remove the bumper now. The bumper cover then will just essentially fall right off, and it's always a good idea just to take a look at your bumper to make sure that that's still in good shape. You don't have any damage or any rust that you need to address. This little styrofoam piece comes right off, and again, you can look underneath it just to assess whether or not any repairs need to be made. To transfer the fog lights, you just have to take out a 10mm screw and then drop the light through the bumper. That little bracket holds it in place. Not a big deal. This is the passenger side fog light. It's got a broken tab, and I'm going to have to repair that. I'm going to use a little bit of JV Weld plastic bonder. It bonds in about 15 minutes. This isn't a weight-bearing piece, and so it's going to be able to hold up pretty well. I always have good success with JV Weld products. And the only other thing to change out would be the quick nuts for the license plate if you've got to put one on your car. And it was all pretty easy. You know, in this case here, you're going to want to put your bumper cover back on, and you're going to want to be careful. Obviously, you don't want to, mark up the bumper or mark up the rest of the car. I like to fit it first to the first 3 fasteners that we took off, and that will give you an opportunity to fit the bumper to the rest of the car. And then I go and I put the 2 bolts in just in front of the front wheels so that I've got a nice stable bumper in place so that I can put the rest of the bolts in. Pretty easy to do. I'm not going to bother you with the rest of this, but if you have any questions, just let me know. So if you enjoyed this video, or if you just like watching me struggle through repairs, the next thing I'm going to fix is the seat covers. I actually have some new seat covers I'm going to put on, and once that's done, I'm going to replace the center stack. There's a new radio out that can replace that. Been wanting to do that since I purchased it, and I'm going to take the opportunity to do so. All right, folks, well, that's it for today's Land Cruiser fix. Stay tuned for those other projects that I mentioned. Also, I've got some other projects that are going to be underway here shortly. I've got a 1971 Corvette that needs a new thermostat housing and a little bit of wiring work done. I've got a 95 Dodge Viper that needs to have its air compressor replaced for the AC system. I've got a 1988 911 that just needs some sort of work on the AC system because it's not working. And we have a 2008 Toyota FJ Cruiser that we've done some work to, and now we're going to add an electrical panel so that we can add additional accessories, lights, cameras, etc., and make it a better off-road vehicle. Got a 1970 Cuda that I am restoring with a buddy of mine and with my kids. So should be some interesting projects. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the section below. And then also, when I'm using vendors, I'll make sure to leave a link in the comments section. Again, thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you shortly.